You think being kind makes you a good person. You believe that your endless empathy, your patience, and your willingness to help others will eventually earn you respect and loyalty. You believe that because you always do the right thing, because you avoid conflict and keep the peace, the universe will naturally protect you from those who do the wrong thing. You are completely wrong. Right now, dark triad personalities are scanning every room you enter, calculating exactly how much of your energy they can harvest. But they are not looking for a friend. They are looking for an endless supply of free, emotional labor. When you constantly sacrifice your own boundaries to accommodate someone else, when you swallow your own discomfort just to make someone else smile, you are no longer a good person. You are prey. You are not building a relationship. You are literally training a predator how to exploit you. Today, we are going to perform a brutal, clinical dissection on the psychology of human manipulation and the devastating illusion of niceness. We will expose the exact biological mechanism that forces you to seek approval from people who are secretly destroying your life. We will break down the neuroscience of the fawning response. We will analyze the Machiavellian tactics that toxic individuals use to map your weaknesses, and we will reveal why your empathy is the exact weapon they use against you. If you are exhausted from constantly giving your energy to people who leave you feeling empty, confused, and drained, you need to pay very close attention. Your ability to understand this specific evolutionary glitch will dictate whether you rule your own reality or remain a permanent, invisible victim within it. Let us begin by dismantling the core evolutionary illusion of kindness. You have been conditioned by modern society to believe that niceness is a universal virtue. It is not. From a strict evolutionary biology standpoint, human beings are tribal apex predators. For hundreds of thousands of years, our survival depended entirely on our ability to cooperate within a small group. If you were exiled from the tribe, you died. Therefore, your brain evolved a highly sensitive threat detection system designed to maintain social harmony at all costs. Your primitive brain associates the disapproval of others with physical death. This is why conflict feels so physically uncomfortable. When you sense that someone is upset with you, your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, floods your nervous system with cortisol. You feel a tightness in your chest. You feel anxious. And your immediate biological impulse is to fix the situation, to soothe the other person, and to restore the peace. You are not being nice. You are surviving an internal panic attack. This is the clinical reality of the fawning response. Psychology recognizes 4 primary responses to a threat: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Fawning is a trauma response, where an individual attempts to avoid conflict by immediately appeasing the aggressor. You think your tendency to over-explain yourself, to apologize when someone else bumps into you, and to constantly say yes when every fiber of your being is screaming no is a sign of your excellent moral character. It is actually a sign of deep biological submission. You are signaling to the environment that you prioritize the comfort of others over your own survival. In a healthy tribe of empathetic humans, this trait might be reciprocated and valued. But we do not live in a small cooperative tribe anymore. We live in a massive, anonymous society filled with individuals who possess dark triad traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. And to a dark triad personality, your fawning response is blood in the water. You must understand how a manipulator views the world. They do not see people as equals. They see people as instruments. They operate on a purely transactional basis, constantly scanning the environment for individuals who possess high emotional resources and low defensive boundaries. They do not target the weak. They target the highly empathetic. Empathy is a highly valuable resource, and predators are incredibly lazy. They want to extract the maximum amount of validation, money, time, and emotional support with the absolute minimum amount of effort. When you project unconditional kindness, when you walk into a room and instantly try to make everyone else feel comfortable, you are broadcasting a massive invisible signal. You are telling the predator that your vault is completely unlocked and unguarded. Rewind this if needed. Predators do not hunt the weak, they hunt the accommodating. How exactly do they trap you? It never begins with massive abuse. It begins with the clinical execution of a microtransgression. A Machiavellian manipulator will test your perimeter before they invade your territory. They will show up slightly late to a meeting without a real apology. They will make a subtly insulting joke about your appearance or your ambitions in front of a group. They will ask you for a small favor that crosses a minor professional or personal boundary. They do this entirely on purpose. They are not making a mistake. They are running a diagnostic test on your self-respect. They want to see exactly how you respond to a minor violation. If you get angry and enforce a strict boundary, they will immediately back off and look for an easier target. But if you laugh off the insult, if you wave away their lateness and say it is totally fine, if you do the favor without complaining, you have just failed the test. You have handed them the blueprints to your psychological architecture. Once they realize you will absorb their disrespect to avoid conflict, the exploitation scales rapidly. They begin to weaponize your own moral compass against you. This brings us to the dark psychology of weaponized pity. The most sophisticated manipulators do not control you through fear. They control you through guilt. They play the role of the victim perfectly. They will share a tragic backstory. They will complain about how everyone else in the world has betrayed them, how incredibly hard their life is, and how you are the only person who truly understands them. This is a calculated attack on your empathy. Because you are a good person, your natural instinct is to heal them. You want to be the exception. You want to be the one who finally saves them. You pour hours of your time listening to their problems, offering solutions, and absorbing their toxic energy. While you are trying to save them, they are quietly consuming you. But here is the brutal truth you must accept right now. You cannot fix a predator with love. You are projecting your own internal morality onto a psychological void. They do not want to be saved. They are using your desire to be a savior as a mechanism to drain your resources. And the moment you attempt to hold them accountable, the moment you finally say no, or ask for something in return, watch how quickly the mask slips. The person who claimed you were their only true friend will instantly turn completely cold. They will accuse you of being selfish. They will gaslight you, twisting reality to make it seem like you are the one who abandoned them. Your brain will experience massive cognitive dissonance, and because you are addicted to their approval, you will likely apologize and try to fix the relationship. You are trapped in the sunken cost fallacy of empathy. We must also examine the raw economics of human behavior. Why do people disrespect you when you are always available to them? It comes down to the biological perception of value. In any system, scarcity creates value and abundance destroys it. This applies to gold, it applies to diamonds, and it applies ruthlessly to your attention. When you respond to every text message within 3 seconds, when you drop your own plans the moment someone needs you, when you are constantly available to solve everyone else's emergencies, your energy becomes hyper-abundant. It becomes cheap. You are handing out your time for free, and human psychology is hardwired to completely devalue whatever it gets for free. People do not respect what they do not have to work for. Think about the apex figures in any social hierarchy. The CEOs, the elite performers, the individuals who command absolute respect the moment they enter a room. They do not explain themselves. They do not rush to answer every question. They operate with a profound sense of verbal and temporal scarcity. When they speak, people listen because their words are rare. When they give you their time, you feel honored because you know their time is heavily guarded. The tragedy of the chronic people pleaser is that in their desperate attempt to be valued by everyone, they mathematically guarantee that they will be valued by no one. Your overavailability is destroying your status. You are treating yourself like a clearance sale and then wondering why people are treating you like cheap merchandise. To escape this trap, you must completely re-engineer your neurological reward system. You must fundamentally change your relationship with the concept of being disliked. Most people spend their entire lives running away from the discomfort of disapproval. They will lie, cheat their own values, and exhaust themselves just to maintain the illusion that everyone likes them. But you are stepping out of the herd. You must realize that being disliked by the right people is a badge of absolute honor. When a manipulator calls you selfish, it simply means you stop letting them use you. When a toxic person calls you arrogant, It simply means you finally established a boundary they cannot cross. Their anger is not a sign that you did something wrong. Their anger is clinical proof that your new defense mechanisms are working perfectly. Pause and write this down. Now, dislike is the necessary price of respect. How do you build this untouchable sovereignty? It begins with the Machiavellian application of the word no. The word no is a complete sentence. It does not require a comma. It does not require a paragraph of context. It does not require an apology. When someone asks you for a favor that drains your energy, you do not invent an excuse about being too busy. You look them in the eyes and you simply say, "No, I cannot do that." And then you close your mouth. You let the silence hang in the air. The silence will feel incredibly uncomfortable to your primitive brain. Your amygdala will scream at you to fill the void, to soften the blow, to explain yourself. You must endure the burn. You must let the tension sit there until the other person is forced to accept your boundary. This requires the death of the nice guy or the nice girl persona. True kindness is not the inability to be dangerous. If you are harmless, you are not kind. You are simply weak. You have no choice but to be nice because you lack the capacity to defend yourself. True, sovereign kindness can only exist when you are fully capable of being dangerous, fully capable of total destruction, but you actively choose to be peaceful. You must integrate your shadow. You must accept that you have teeth, and you must let people see them. When people know that you have the capacity to cut them off instantly without regret and without explanation, their entire approach towards you changes. They stop treating your kindness as an expectation and start treating it as a privilege. You cannot demand respect. You can only extract it through your boundaries. This is the ultimate evolution of your dark psychological awareness. The old version of you was a battery. You generated clean, empathetic energy, and you plugged yourself into the lives of emotional vampires, wondering why you always felt so exhausted and hollow. You sacrificed your own ambitions, your own peace, and your own identity on the altar of social harmony. But that version of you is dead. You are no longer participating in the self-destructive game of unconditional accommodation. You have learned to read the invisible power dynamics in every room. You understand the diagnostic tests manipulators run, and you fail them on purpose. You watch them deploy their guilt trips, their weaponized pity, and their micro-transgressions, and you observe them with the cold, clinical detachment of a scientist watching a rat in a maze. You do not need everyone to like you. You only need them to respect your perimeter. While the masses exhaust themselves trying to be understood by people who are committed to misunderstanding them, you operate in silence. You hoard your energy. You protect your time. You invest your empathy only in those who have proven they can match your level of investment. You have transitioned from the victim of human nature to the architect of your own reality. That is absolute, untouchable sovereignty, and sovereignty is the quiet superpower that separates the predators from the prey. Now you know the hidden mechanism of exploitation. Stop apologizing for your existence. Subscribe to see reality clearly